Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and what a great sense of excitement I think there is in the room today. And I say at the outset that I've got to go away and do a whole lot of other things this morning. So I'm only here for about 30 minutes, but I can tell you now I'm green with envy. I'd like to be here all day. I really would, because I think it's going to be one of those very special days, given the people that we have brought together, the diversity of people's experience and fields and professional knowledge. So I just think you're going to have a terrific time. Look, can I start this morning by acknowledging, of course, the Turrbal and the Jagera peoples. I'd like to acknowledge my ministerial colleague, Ian Walker, who is leading the push here today, if I can put that. We have Professor Roland DeMarco, Pro Vice-Chancellor Research of the University of the Sunshine Coast, Professor Anton Middleberg, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research, University of Queensland, Professor Grant Stanley, Pro Vice-Chancellor Research from CQU, many researchers and businesses who have come along today, along with other invited guests. We have members of my Business Advisory Forum. So I bring together the leaders of the various peak business groups every quarter, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the reasons we're here today is because of the discussions we've had in that forum. So the number of people from the BAF. Can I acknowledge Commissioner Ian Stewart from the Queensland Police Service? Good to see you, Commissioner. We have a number of Directors General, Michael Hogan from the Department of Communities, Jim Waterston from the Department of Education, Craig Evans from the Department of Local Government, Sue Rickaby, Department of Science, and John Grayson, the Department of the Premier and Cabinet, my own DG. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for coming. Recently, a member of the business community made this simple yet profound statement. Innovation comes when people meet each other and find commonalities. Well, spot on. Pretty obvious, really. Innovation relies on collaboration. It happens when creative, resourceful people, industry leaders, business developers, researchers, investors meet one another, find common ground, then explore new ways of doing things together. That's the aim of today's event. It was born, as I said before, out of the Business Advisory Forum that I run. Our business community, I stress that for the people from academia and research today, our business community have asked for greater and stronger connections between research in this state and industry. And that same call has actually come from further afield, from many thousands of everyday Queenslanders. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as you may know, I hope you know, innovation features very heavily in the Queensland plan that I was delighted to actually release last month at Hervey Bay. The People's Plan, which is the culmination of 18 months of work and the input of 80,000 Queenslanders, either individually or as part of community groups, one of the largest engagement processes in the world. The Queensland Plan is the result, and it gives us a common vision for the next 30 years for this state. One of the key themes was the focus on innovation, community connections, amongst other things to do with building up this state. Now, Queenslanders have unanimously agreed that we want our brightest minds to take on the world and to work collaboratively to achieve the best results for this great state. We want more centres of excellence. We want the bright ideas generated to have real social and economic benefit. And to achieve this, we will need to collaborate. We need to collaborate to innovate. Now, Queensland already has world-class, world-leading research and scientific capabilities and infrastructure. We're renowned for it now. We really are on the map. And we have 4 powerhouse industries sectors in this state that are growing stronger day by day. We have a very formidable and diverse business sector. And you do have, if I may say so, a government that is absolutely fair dinkum about cutting red tape, getting rid of needless bureaucracy, speeding things up, and generally getting out of the way. We also have the international media spotlight on us in only 2 months' time, with the G20 Leaders Summit occurring right here in this city. Now, what we now need, though, it seems to me, is a greater uptake of new knowledge and technologies. We need to increase the number and success rate of our tech startups and spin-out companies. We need to license our intellectual property, open the doors of our publicly funded research institutes 2 commercial entities. And we need to continue to attract, but also retain, the best and the brightest in the world. Those scientists, those researchers from around the globe, we need to keep them here in Queensland. And there are some real challenges there. They can be easily lured away. One person wrote in their submission to the Queensland Plan, and I quote, "The most ambitious and brightest professionals are attracted to places where there is a culture of innovation, courage, and continual advancement." I couldn't have said it better myself. When businesses and researchers collaborate, they have the ability to supercharge the economy. And that's what Queenslanders want. We only need to look at places like Silicon Valley to see the massive impact that long-term strategic partnerships have on transforming economies, not only in their own local economy, their own country, but across the globe. Now, if Queensland is to retain some global competitive positioning, we need to do the same right here. We need to build strategic partnerships that require each side to engage far more than just a conventional exchange of information or research dollars. We need to build profitable relationships that merge the research culture of inquiry with the commercial reality of business in order to derive an innovative and competitive advantage. Each side must overcome the culture and communication divides that tend to impair the business to research relationships. And I think we have to acknowledge that today, by the way, meet that head on. We have to do that very much today, bridge this divide. We're going to be hearing from businesses that have successfully done that, like Gourmet Gardens, who've collaborated in their supply chain to develop their new lightly dried herb variety. Halfbrick, a mobile gaming development company who've collaborated with QUT to solve a skill shortage and created the Halfbrick Academy. And also Wagner's. I was at their new airport up on the Darling Downs yesterday. Amazing thing, ladies and gentlemen. But another front for them of leading business activity is their collaboration with the University of Southern Queensland to develop Australia's first full-scale sustainable geopolymer bridge beams. And I'd like to congratulate them as well on taking out the Product Innovation of the Year award at the 2013 National Sustainability Awards. A very exciting achievement indeed. What I'm also excited about though today, ladies and gentlemen, is that for business today, we're seeing people sign up to a business matching event or collaboration speed dating. That I think will be pretty interesting. How do we measure success then? How do we measure success from today? Well, for me, I would state it like this. If in a year's time I could tell a similar story to one of those businesses that I just mentioned, if we could see that it came out of today, that would be success for myself. I hope that's good for you as well. As Jeff Garrett, who's participating today, our chief scientist, he says this. He says, "We're all angels with one wing. We only fly when we embrace one another." Pretty good, eh? So I've been listening, Jeff. This is an opportunity for you to meet other businesses and research leaders and hear concrete lessons from experienced managers on both sides. Of course, it's not just about collaboration, though, between business and research. It's also about collaboration between businesses. I think there's a lot there in terms of that shared experience that we will see cross-pollination going on today. I'd also like to remind people that it is Small Business Week this week, and that collaboration and innovation benefit businesses of all sizes, but particularly when we had the launch 2 days ago in City Hall, we heard from Professor Josh Lerner from Harvard. And he was particularly pointing out the way that small businesses particularly can capitalise on innovation. In fact, his thesis is essentially they do a much better job of that than larger firms. This week really is, I think, the bringing together of a whole range of things for our state right now. Very important things that we must take on board. Before I close, I just want to comment as well, though, on one other factor, and that is recently we have developed the Science and Innovation Action Plan, which outlines the contribution that science, technology and innovation will make to Queensland. We've identified a number of action areas, not surprisingly, collaborating and sharing knowledge is one of them. We also want to invest in skills and research to leverage our past investments and our scientific excellence. We want to use innovation to achieve improved government services. And we want to remove barriers and foster growth of potential businesses. So the Queensland Government is currently running the Accelerate Ideas program where industry and researchers can work together to test the commercial viability of an idea. We're also running innovation clinics, and maybe Ian will be talking about that later on. We've held 3 so far, looking at housing construction in Brisbane, off-grid and renewable energy in Cairns, and agricultural plastic waste at Home Hill. Got to know a bit more about that one. We have big, ambitious plans for Queensland's future through science and innovation. I particularly hope that you're looking forward to the great debate today. This is the topic. What is the point of science and innovation if you can't make a buck? You'll be hearing from the research team led by our Chief Scientist, Dr. Jeff Garrett, and the business team led by Mark Sowerby from Blue Sky Investments. The interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen, is much to the Chief Scientist's horror, his team will be debating that there is no point of science and innovation if you can't make a buck. That's why I wish I was going to be here today to see that. It should make for a very interesting debate, and above all, demonstrate that to collaborate, to innovate, means seeing all sides and all perspectives. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to be here today. It's my great pleasure to declare Collaborate to Innovate officially underway. Thank you again for participating. It's a critical first step. I don't know if anyone else is doing this around Australia, but I can say this, that we intend to keep doing it, and I think that will be a very important competitive thing for Queensland. So have a great day. Thank you indeed.